Hey guys, it's Dr. Stephanie Burgos here, and I wanted to take you through how you are going to set up your tracker so that you can track your macronutrients. So what exactly are macronutrients? So our macronutrients are proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. And so with this plan, we are going to be keeping track of these three macronutrients. The reason being is because it's going to be incredibly important since we're following a low carbohydrate, high fat, moderate protein plan that we really understand exactly what we're putting into our body. One thing that I want to make very clear is that the tracking is going to be important in the first 2 to 4 weeks of you starting this plan. Why? Because I need to make sure that you are getting the exact nutrients that your body needs. Everybody's body is different. And if I don't know exactly what you're getting in terms of how many carbohydrates, how much fat, how much protein, I'm not going to be able to advise you and help you figure out what's going to be the next best step for you. Everybody's body is different, like I've been saying, and there are people who can have more carbohydrates, and there are people who need to have less carbohydrates. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take you through how to set up your MyFitnessPal tracker and what are the macronutrient percentages that you should use when you are first getting started. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. So I use MyFitnessPal. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot my phone. And guys, again, this is going to be incredibly important. And I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed with this. I really want to kind of stress that this is not something you're going to do for life. This is not something you're going to do for months and months and months. This is really something that you're going to do until you figure out exactly what macronutrient breakdown your body needs. And when I say breakdown, I'm referring to what exact percentages work best for your body. If you're someone that has PCOS or has a lot of abdominal fat, or has, irregular periods, and many other types of issues, you're going to need a lower carbohydrate threshold. If you're someone that doesn't have those problems, you're very active, you possibly could get away with a higher carbohydrate threshold. But the only way we're going to know that is if we're keeping track and then we're seeing how your body adapts to it and how your body changes. That's going to be key. This is going to be trial and error, and I need you to understand that. I need you to understand that it's going to be, incredibly important that you are taking photos very consistently of yourself. That's going to be more important. The photos will be more important than the weight. You have to trust me on this. There will be times when the weight is not moving, but I promise you, if you're following the plan and you're eating accordingly, and you're feeling the effects, the high energy, the clear mood, the mood balance. If you're feeling the effects, I promise you, if you stick with it, you're going to start seeing changes in your body composition, and you're going to start seeing that you're going to start burning fat. That can happen even though the scale is not moving. And so if you haven't taken your photos yet, make sure that you take your photos and send them to me. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that I can go ahead and, take you through exactly how to set it up. And so you're going to see it right here. And actually what I want to do is I'm going to share just my screen. Okay, perfect. So you guys can see my phone right here. And so here's my phone. And down here in the corner right here, you're going to see MyFitnessPal. You can download this for free. You do not need the premium. All you need is the free app. You're going to click in it. This, guys, is a fantastic app. This has probably every single type of food. Every brand is listed in the database for this tracker. So let's see. Basically, what you're going to do is once you get to the home screen right here, you're going to click down here at these little 3 buttons down in the bottom right. So I'm going to go ahead and click. You're going to go to goals. Click on goals. And you're going to come down here to calorie and macronutrient goals. You're going to click on that. This is where you're going to input that calorie count that I told you to make sure that you are using. I cannot stress enough that you need to make sure you're eating all your calories. I will tell you that most people undereat. I cannot stress enough that you need to eat all your calories. So like I said, if you are someone that's overall pretty sedentary, maybe you're just working out 1 to 3 times a week, you should be multiplying your goal weight by 11, and that will give you your calorie goal. If you're someone that's working out 4 to 7 days a week plus, or like you're an active person, you should be multiplying your goal weight by 12, and that'll give you a calorie goal that you should be hitting. So for me, it's 1680. And so that's what I'm going to put here. So I put 1680. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to change the profile of our macronutrients. We're going to change the percentages of what we want it to be for the day. You're going to go ahead and click into the carbohydrates. When you click on it, you're going to see this little kind of scale right here. What you want to do is you want to take the carbohydrates to 10%. You want to bring the protein to 25%, and you want to bring the the fat to 65%. So 10% for carbs, 25% for protein, and 65% for fat. You're going to go ahead and then click the check mark, and that's going to save that. And basically you'll see it up here. So again, one more time, you're going to click into this. One thing I will say, guys, is that this is a good number, the 10% for the carbohydrates. However, if you're someone that you have a lot of weight to lose, if you're someone that you have PCOS, you may need to go down to 5%. But first, what I would advise is start here and see how you do. See if you start seeing any changes. If you're not seeing any changes, even though you're sticking absolutely 100% to the macronutrient goals, then you may need to decrease this to 5%, let's say. And then what I would do is I would increase your fat to 70%. And that's what I would have you do. So just kind of keep that in mind, that you may need to lower your carbs more. And so what I'm going to do is put it back to where I want it to be. I'm going to press the check mark, and then that's going to save. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go back, and I want to show you a couple things on here. You're going to go back over here, and a couple things you want to look at is you want to look at nutrition. Nutrition is what I'm going to have you guys look at every single day. And up here you have calories, nutrients, and macros. If you click over here to macros, it's going to tell you the breakdown of the food that you had for the day. So this is me for today. So I had 40 grams of carbohydrates, I had 149 grams of fat, and I had 95 grams of protein. I was pretty close, at 9%, 71%, 20%. So this is my macronutrient profile, and I'll have you guys screenshot this when I have you guys start kind of screenshotting and sharing for accountability. Another thing I want to show you guys is the nutrients. I really like looking at it like this as well. It tells you you've had 95 grams. It tells you had 40 grams. I really like to look at the fiber. Super important, guys. You need to make sure that you're trying to aim for about 20 grams. I was a little low. 20 to 25 grams is ideal. And so you may have certain things to increase your fiber. I would suggest flaxseed, chia seeds, choosing vegetables that are high in fiber, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, so kale. Definitely choosing vegetables that are high in fiber can help you get this fiber up. So something to think about. You can also look at your fat content here, your fat breakdown, and that's really what I care about here. So last thing I want to show you is I want to show you how you're going to go ahead and you're going to start inputting your food. So down here where it says diary, down here, you'll click on diary, and this is how your diary is going to look. So let's say for tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and click on tomorrow. It's a brand new day. And one thing I advise, guys, is plan your meals the night before. Put all your meals in the night before, and then go to that macro breakdown and look and see how your macros are looking. If they're out of whack, planning the night before allows you to adjust accordingly, right? And you don't have to adjust the day of. So for example, I'm going to click here to add food for meal 1. And so literally what I love, guys, is that things that you use often, the app will eventually start saving. And so for example, I'm going to I'm going to have my macadamia nuts tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. I'm going to put the check mark. I'm going to have my Shakeology. I'm going to click that. Also, what's nice is that as you start kind of adding that, it'll also share with you any combinations that you typically have with that food. So right now I'm going to put my Shakeology in. I'm going to add a food. I'm going to add my unsweetened coconut almond milk, let's say. So I want to have, this is one serving, this says 1 cup. I want a full cup because that's what I do. You click into the number of servings right here, and then you would go ahead and just change that. Number of servings 1, the serving size is 1 cup. That's what I'm going to be having. I press OK. I also will be adding my MCT oil to my shake. I add that too. And then I can press the check mark up here, and that's going to be adding it. Throughout the day, I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of my food. I usually have my mozzarella and prosciutto. I add that, let's say. I'm going to add my fresh mozzarella. So if I click up here and I click, and I kind of put in mozzarella, the mozzarella log for slicing, this is what I have. And again, I always put in the Trader Joe's. This has like every brand. So make sure you put in the specific brand that you're using. I am going to have 3 servings of 28 grams. And this is why, guys, it's important that you have a scale. And then I'm going to add that in. So as I go through the day, I'm going to go ahead and add in all my foods. As I'm what you want to do is as you're adding in all your foods, click down here into the little, anytime throughout any of this, you can click down in here to the little 3 dots, click on nutrition. And what you want to make sure is that you're in tomorrow's view. So you'll click over here to the arrow, and it'll tell you that so far I've already put in 49 grams for tomorrow, 66 grams of fat, 24 grams of carbs. So I like to keep track of that. And so then what you can do is go back, click on diary down here, make sure you're on the right day. So this is for tomorrow. And then you'll go ahead and you'll keep adding your food, the way that you want to add. Couple things I want to point out here. If you have certain meals that you like, you can create certain meals. Like, for example, let's say you have a certain shake combination. You can save it as a meal. You just kind of click over here to meals, create a meal, and then you can add all the individual ingredients. Like, for example, today I made this beef and cheese cocktail. And so that is all the ingredients. And so if I want to just add that to my meal plan, if I click add here, all I need to do is go to meals, click on my beef and cheese, and click the little check mark up here. And there it is in my plan right here. It's in meal 3, and it puts it in there individually. So that's what I had. And so you'll see that as I'm kind of going through the day, I'm adding food. And so I advise doing this the day before. So anyway, guys, I hope that you found this helpful. Again, this is really fun. Another thing you can do is you can add me as your friend. If you go here to friends, and someone here already, Stephanie Rosenthal, already added me. So what you'll do is you will click on the add button, and then you'll search for friends. And so you can add friends. I am Healthy ER Doc on MyFitnessPal, so you can search for me on there as well. Another thing too is if you can go to your settings, and you can actually go to your diary settings, and you can share, you can kind of set settings here. And then also if you go to privacy settings right here, and if you go to diary sharing, you can either make your diary public or share it with friends only. So this is really good too, and really cool, for example, because let's say you have some friends in here and you guys all have a similar calorie range, you can all kind of share your diaries, and then you can get ideas of what other people are eating. So, so that's really cool. And if you ever want me or one of the other leaders to take a look at your diaries, you can give us access and we can take a look. We can only look at the foods, unfortunately, but at least it gives us, it allows us to take a look and give you some feedback. But anyway, guys, I hope you found this helpful. And again, what I want to stress is that this is not going to be forever. And so I just want you to understand that, meaning the tracking. And so I know in the beginning, it can be a little overwhelming, but I want to reassure you that this is only because I need to make sure that we figure out which macronutrient breakdown is going to be best for you. Does that make sense? Once we know what's going to be best for you, then you don't have to track as much because you're going to have a better understanding. You're going to know exactly what's going to work for you. But until we get there, we need to be tracking, okay? Anyway, guys, I hope you found this helpful. Have a good day.